See, I think it's loading up now, and we should now hopefully be in action. Hey, LatinXplosion crew! Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm so excited for us to be presenting our second issue of LatinXplosion. We have some really fun, awesome stuff to go through today. We are jumping into the action, we are playing these characters, and it's going to be amazing. The first thing I want to do is just kind of do the quick round of intros so you know who all of us are, and so that we can get all set to just start crushing this game and seeing all these different characters in action. I love all these characters so much, I can't even tell you. I have the easy job. I get to just introduce myself. I'm Brandon. I use he, him pronouns, and I will be playing as the GM. Who wants to go next?
I am Frankie. I use she, they pronouns, so she, her, or they, them, and I will be playing La Rosa.
I'll go next. I'm Diana Moon. I use she, her, and I play Selena, sometimes known as La Cunendaria, and she also goes by she, her.
Hi, I'm Axel. I play Adrian Casillo, and he's also known by Flyby.
I guess my character's full name is Maria Socorro Mirtala Marquez Flores, or she goes by Tala.
Fantastic. All right. So, we have these three heroes. They are part of a super team that involves a fourth hero as well that we're going to be able to introduce next week. We had, they're introduced into the action at least next week. The curse of the LatinXplosion tech problems has continued dramatically, and so that is burn some sage for us because what we're doing isn't working. But let's go ahead and just dive right into some of the comic, and so we can start playing into the relationships and seeing how these characters interact with each other a little bit and get them like right onto the comic page, because I think that's a good way to sort of see how it all jumps together. Our first panel is this big, broad, pulled-out view of Santa Calma, which is the setting for our comic. It is this bustling, vibrant city, and every time it's drawn and colored, they get all of these very stark lines and bright colors. Like it doesn't look like Gotham, right? Like it looks in some ways more like a Pueblo kind of city, but like with some American influence as well, right? Like it's got kind of that same that same dual identity that so many different Latinx people have. And of course our comic is drawn and written and colored and inked and everything like that by Latinx people, because our publication company is like on freaking point with this stuff. In any case, we get this huge panel that just shows the city, and there's flashes of movement and people flying through just to show the liveliness of it, right? Like there are heroes all over the place. But we're going to be zooming in first. We come down and there's just sort of like a view of like a little bodega, and we can see a couple of teenage kids inside. Just sort of the vague shape of them for now. And then there is just a bursting explosion from across the street. And there's glass shattering and people shouting and screaming. And we get this cloud of smoke from which is coming a huge spike-wheeled car that is just like rolling down the street, crushing other cars that are in its path, sending people jumping and scattering all over the place. Our next panel is going to be inside the bodega, and it's going to introduce us to our different heroes. So for each of us, I just want to get like just like the quickest splash of them, right? And then we can start getting them in action and seeing this all happen.
Very quick.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I thought you were gonna say something. I guess it's not important, but did you have any ideas of exactly where this city is? Is it a border town? Is it a coastal town? Is it more east or west coast? Is it in the middle?
Why don't we answer that together? Because I think
Right.
building this out as this city, like the LatinXplosion, is going to have a ton of different players in it and everything like that. And so building out as much as we can works. I really like coastal towns because having access to the water like gives a lot of cool opportunities for like boat chases and stuff like that. Do people have preference of like East Coast, West Coast?
Well, I'm a West Coast girl, so.
Oh, well, I'm
That'll
East
always be
Coast.
my preference.
I'm east, but I'm okay with either. Honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm from Florida, so that automatically makes my opinion invalid. Yeah, we need to be on the coast legally, I think.
Yeah.
I like coast.
Yeah, I agree. I'm from a coast town. I'm from a border town. So
Yeah.
at least if we can get one of those, I'd be down.
Fantastic. Let's go ahead and say, just for now, because, like, one of the big traditions in a lot of comic book things is saying, like, oh, Gotham, it's kind of like New York-ish space, maybe, or Metropolis is kind of New York-ish space, maybe. Who knows? And without needing to find anything. But I think let's go ahead and say it's definitely coastal. It definitely is full of Latinx people, so it's somewhere that has, like, a lot of that. And whether it's East Coast, West Coast, if it comes up and, like, is really important to hit it, then we'll hit it. And otherwise, just, like, you are free to do and build however. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Cool. And then eventually we'll do, like, once we have, like, a couple of crews, maybe we'll do a vote and, like, put it on a map.
Sounds good. So let me see if I got it straight. We're in the bodega. Are we in our costumes or are we in our CVs?
I don't know. When you hang out, do you hang out in costumes or civvies?
I was gonna ask, what were we doing? Were we hanging out? Were we patrolling? I guess if we're hanging out, Tala La Rosa, or in this case just Tala, is just wearing like a loose, like pink hoodie, and like some shorts, and she has the whoop.
Are you okay?
We did.
Okay, you're all right?
We just talked about it. Yeah, someone else cover for me while I fix this.
Oh my, like the curse of LatinXplosion is absurd. It's everywhere. It's going to destroy all of us. Okay, so let's like paint this panel. Cuz this is like a nice big intro to our characters. Yeah, there's like some smoke coming in. It's kind of like billowed up towards the floor, just like a bit of just sort of debris, right? But inside we've got this just like the warm, inviting small bodega it's got like maybe a couple little tables, and there's an older man that's working there, and he's in a real ranchero shirt, and he's got like the little bit of a comb over thing, and he's sort of just like looking like pulled back and shocked, and the three of you are there, and you're probably going to jump into action would be my guess, because you are superheroes. But I mean, if not, you know, you do you. I'm good. What's that look like?
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, welcome back. Yeah, if we were just hanging out at the bodega, I think like Selena was near the Pan Dulce,
Okay.
and when she's not in her superhero outfit, she's in a lots of blacks. Not to be like gothy, it's just that it's just easier to
What's wrong
blend
with
in.
Gothy?
Nothing's wrong with gothy, but she wears a lot of layers. Kind of rogue-like in the sense that like she doesn't like showing off a lot of skin.
Cool.
Because she's just paranoid that if she uses her powers, people are gonna notice. And yeah, so she'll like have swore a little bit at the explosion and actually looks at the other two and be like, "Oh shit, what should we do?"
So what did I miss? There was an explosion?
Yes, and I just described my character hiding in the back with the Pundelse.
Ooh, nice. I was gonna say before that happened, I think Tala's just like drinking a jarritos or something, just like laying against the wall, just like chugging it.
Awesome.
Adrian is doing my personal favorite thing to do when you go to the bodega, shoving an entire sandwich in his mouth.
Flyby's a
When this
disaster.
happens, it is actually really bad, and I added the action because what's most important is the action that is this sandwich.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So this is happening, and he kind of like looks at the owner, and he like looks at the two of them, and he's like, "I don't know why you're so shocked. We live in a town full of supervillains."
And that we live in a town full of supervillains is pulled on to the next page as like the top, right at the top of it, because we have now like the full shot of the villains outside. They are like Borderlands style, way over the top, like chains hanging off of them. The guy in front is this huge shirtless dude with just like big scars and tattoos all across his chest. And he's got like this enormous like laser blaster that he's holding up and going, all right, Santa Calma. You've had the last of your peaceful days, 'cause you're messing with the rundown crew." And he's just like standing on the hood of this huge Jeep that is like all decked out, and it's got like, it has like the spray painted on shapes of superheroes, as though like they've like killed a whole bunch of superheroes. And there's a couple of other like, just minion folk that are with him, and they're just going down the street with like a yeah. What do you do?
I have a really important question.
Yeah.
Is there anything pumping over the stereo?
Oh, hell yes, there is.
Is it Gasolina?
Yes, it is Gasolina, 100%. No question. Amazing.
I just want to check, how's my volume now? Someone said in the chat my volume was a little low.
I think it's sounding good to me. Does it sound good to you folks?
I mean, you sound fine to me, but it depends
Okay.
on
I think we're at level except for me
how
shouting.
how the stream outputs it. But so yeah, so after hearing all that, I was like, I know we're in a city full. I'm not used to this, okay? Where I come from, there is none of this. We gotta do something. Are you done with your sandwich yet?
Adrian has at this point basically like shoved the whole thing in his mouth, and he's like, yeah, I can be done. Let's fucking go. Let's go.
Amazing. I've pulled up the volume, I hope, on everybody else. It sounds like we're a little low. But I can hear everyone but Brandon is quiet. I know my own name. Yeah, shut up.
Yes, Brian.
I definitely, yeah, Brandon. Brian.
We're not calling you Brian.
Yeah, definitely.
Brian is your white version, American version of you.
Yes, definitely.
But it's not Brian, it's Brian. I went to school with a couple of Brians.
Oh, that's fantastic. So we now have like we've got just the pumping music, and they got the rights to Gasolina, so it's like going through all of it. Like,
Right. I love
yeah,
it.
yeah. I get a little meta when I talk about comics. They got permission.
Right.
And it's like you can just see out the window. Like we've got an inside shot of the of the kids, and out the window we see the rundown crew just like go over a car and just like crunch, 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 and it like slows them down a lot, but they're like there's like with the wheels just going.
Fantastic.
We don't have the rights.
It was less than 10 seconds. We're good.
Yeah, we're allowed 10 seconds.
I know law. I don't know law.
So, yeah, I think
So what do you do? Do we get any panels of like the three of you getting ready to do something, or is our next panel like the big show up scene?
that's a good question.
Adrian is ready to fucking jump in. He doesn't give two shits.
Yeah, at the moment, neither does Selena. Selena's like, this, like, I'm an all black, it doesn't matter. But she puts up, like, her hood up a little bit more and, like, tightens it. Because, yeah.
Nice.
It's like,
Yeah. Tala like grabs from like she's carrying like a backpack, so she just grabs her mask and like puts it on and takes the hoodie off, and of course she's wearing her like wrestling gear underneath.
Nice.
So she's good to go.
Yeah, and so we get in that panel that like that the bodega owner's back is to all of you, so that there's a convenient moment that you can all cover yourself up. And we're going to dive, I think, directly into our first mechanic.
Yay.
Yeah, mechanics, the things everyone's really here for.
Yep.
There are less
More
mechanics
yeah.
in actual plays.
Absolutely.
I mean, I do.
Yeah, me too. So, when you enter battle against a dangerous foe as a team, you add 2 team to the pool. A team is something that you can use to basically, if someone makes a roll and you want to improve it, if you tell us how you help them, then they get to add +1 to their roll, and you lower the team by 1. You start the game with 1 team, and now we're adding 2 to the pool, so you're at 3 team. And now we're going to answer some quick questions. Who is the leader in this fight?
I feel like definitely not Selena, at least in this particular fight.
Not
Okay.
it.
Yeah, I feel that. I think just in general, La Rosa would try to take leadership position. That doesn't mean she's the leader, but she would be
Cool.
the one at least wanting to call the shots.
Yeah,
You know, to keep with the legacy and stuff like that.
that totally checks out to me. So we're going to have to ask some questions about the leader. So, I just realized we didn't do influence because we were in a hurry. So, we'll do influence later. So I'm just going to give you a +1. This is Brandon freebie mode. I'm a generous GM.
Hey.
We're off the rails.
Remember this right now before you start rolling 6 minuses. I'm generous and kind.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah. Do you have the same purpose in the fight? Rosa, what is your purpose in this fight?
Stop the bad guys.
Stop the bad guys. Flyby? Same purpose?
Fuck 'em up.
Close enough.
I think that counts. Selena?
Minimize damage.
Okay, cool. So you do not have the same purpose in the fight, and that's okay. That's okay.
Oh, is that a thing now?
Yeah, so basically what this question is asking is, do you all have the same purpose, right? And so like if for example Rosa was like, I just want to hurt this person because they've hurt me, and Flyby is going, I want to save innocence, then those are not the same purpose, even if they can assist each other. And that's okay, because it basically just means like how on balance are you as a team. And so having all 3 of you have something that's like, that there's some variation, that's not a bad thing. That's because you're teenage superheroes. And this is the beginning of your career, and that's awesome. I'm so excited. And it means you have less resource, which also makes me excited. Does any team member mistrust the leader or the team?
No.
Yay, friendship. Love it.
Come on.
If you did, we'd take away 1. Are you ill-prepared or off balance?
Um, I mean, we were
This-
just eating.
Yeah, if you're never on balance, can you
Yeah.
be off balance?
So like so like what the question is asking are you especially and particularly off balance? So like
I
that
think
might be
we're
a situation
fine.
where like
No,
Yeah,
oh
we're not
I-
particularly.
I don't think this is the first time we've gone somewhere and then supervillains showed up and we're like,
Yeah.
okay. That's why everyone just kind of went and got into, okay, let's take care of this mode.
yes.
Because we've done this at least 3 times.
Yeah. So like yeah, for like in my mind unprepared or off balance means like oh, one of you is holding your baby sibling or like hey, this person like Axel doesn't have Flyby I was trying to use first Adrian doesn't have his equipment on him or something like that, right? Like so that a thing that stops you from being as effective as you are as a team. And so I think you're good. So you're at 4 team. That's awesome. So at any point during this fight, you're going to be able to use team to give a +1 to one of your teammates. So that's good to have. So just remember that number. I'm writing it down right now. If you need to check with me, let me know.
Okay.
But yeah, we get this wonderful panel of the 3 of you just like coming out the front of the bodega, and the street is filled with people, right? There's obviously lots of locals, and this is not really one of the more touristy areas. So people are used to there being some villain attacks, and so people are really trying to get out of the way as quickly as they can. But the rundown crew is not interested in staying in one place. Like, you know, they're just like driving down. They've got laser blasters out the window and just like taking out cars near them. They love chaos and damage, and that's what they're doing. That's what they do best.
God, relatable.
Yeah, same. Big mood. So what do you
Wait,
do?
Was that you or was that your character?
No, that was me. No.
Okay, cool.
No, all of these are hazards to Adrian. If he's not wearing that stupid visor, like a door is a hazard.
So there right now here's what's gone down. Across the street there was like a building that they just like tore up the whole front of and just like really blasted all to hell. And they're now driving down the street. What do you do?
They're driving down. Are they driving towards us or away from us?
I think their back is to you now. And so like we've got like this back of like this kind of like Jeep tank sort of thing with like big spiky wheels, and there's smoke just pouring out of it, and it's like there's broken glass everywhere. Shit's bad.
How well can we see them? Is it just like shadowy figures, or can we see them pretty clearly in the car?
I think you can see those dudes. Like it's the panel's got like smoke, but it's all comic booky. So like, you know, there's smoke that a person wouldn't be able to see through, but you have to be able to see them in order to comic book. So you can absolutely see them.
I want a quick refresher of everyone's powers.
Oh yeah, sure.
So for the record, Tala has let me see, athletic perfection, Holmesian deduction, and gadgetry. What does everyone else have? So I can know, I can start planning things. I can see what we're working with.
Sorry, I was just double checking something. I forgot I could choose up to 3. So Selena has memory manipulation through dreams and memories, so mostly dreams, and body transmutation. She focuses it on healing, but she can do other things.
Nice.
And I think actually I'm also going to take psychic constructs, because I didn't realize I could have 3. I thought it was just 2.
Cool.
Okay, cool.
Adrian has gravity powers. And I would like to state that my first impulse, which Adrian is a 17-year-old boy, so I fully think he's gonna do it.
Yes,
He
do it.
wants to lift up the Jeep off the ground.
Amazing. What does that look like? Give me that panel first.
I think he's just gonna like rub his hands together and he's like, oh man, I've been waiting for this all day. Spot me, make sure I do not vomit on this street. And he just sort of like rubs his hands together, claps him, and slaps him on the ground. Like full Metal Alchemist imagery.
Are you like tearing up like a line of like does the ground like rip up in front of you, or is it like
and,
they're
and
gonna just
stays
lift?
there and floats.
Freaking amazing. Go ahead and roll to unleash your powers. So the way that every roll in this game works is you roll 2 6-sided dice. You add one of your labels, which labels will move around a whole bunch.
Okay.
And a 7 or higher is a good thing. 7 to 9 is kind of like half good. 10 plus is quite good. And 6 minus, I'm gonna do bad things.
Okay, so what do I add to my roll? Because I rolled a 6, and it has been 2 years since I played this game.
You are gonna be adding your freak.
My freak, great. That's a good stat.
That's good for you. That's good for you. Yeah.
Let me double check that stat. That's a +2, so 8.
Okay.
All right, nice. So on a hit, you do it. On a 7 to 9, you can either mark a condition, or I'll tell you how the effect is unstable or temporary.
Oh, tell me how it's unstable, please.
All right. So there's that panel just showing flyby, just like hand slamming down, and the car and the road that it's on just like chunks into a moment and pulls up. The Jeep slams on its brakes and does like a partial spin as the driver tries to get control of it again, and the front of the wheels just like fall off the edge of it. So it's kind of like balanced precariously, ready to fall right off the edge of this bit of this floating rock up there. And so the reason that it is unstable is that this thing is heavy. And so like I don't know to what extent your powers are controlled by how heavy something is, but like you're feeling strain, and if this falls in one go, this Jeep is gonna explode. Like you drop this, there's going to be an explosion, and it will be a bad one. People in the car, like, if they're not supers, they might just like frickin' die. And people nearby could be really badly injured, and so that's how it's unstable.
Okay.
But they're lifted up into the air, and so there's like now this big Jeep tank is like wobbling back and forth a little bit, and the guy in front is like, "Shit, there's supers! Get on, come on, guys, let's get them!"
Well,
What do you
bad
do?
news. We've lost the element of surprise. Also, bad news. If I drop this, all of us die.
Give me a second, and I have, of course, a utility belt.
Okay.
I pull out like a circular thing and like throw it underneath the where it would fall.
Yeah.
And then kind of like a bouncy castle of foam starts expanding. So like if anything falls, and I'm assuming I'm gonna roll here for my gadgets, but if anything would fall in there, it would like maybe stop or prevent itself. Hopefully, it's to save us and everyone.
I think I'm not gonna have you roll quite yet. When it comes into play, I'll have you roll. So the foam just like maybe I should not punch my mic. Sorry.
Good plan.
Just run down crew. So the foam just starts to like and build up and form up.
Effect.
That's the sound effect. And the chief of the rundown crew just like slams the door open and leans out the side of it with his huge laser blaster. And like we now see it with more detail. There's like chains and spikes on it. It's so stupid. There's a skull on the front. And he aims it at the three of you and just starts firing at you. There's just like a hail of it. It starts off just like, and then it starts to like rev up and start spinning, and it's just
So-
like the entire area is being blasted with laser fire. What do you do?
So can I use psychic construct then to create like a shield?
Yeah,
Hell
yeah,
yes,
yeah,
you
yeah,
can.
yeah.
But I'm gonna ask you what that looks like first.
I think like so then at first seeing this massive like gun is like, oh shit, she froze for a second and
Yeah.
like, and then she swears again, and then she just puts her hands out like this, and it comes out like crystal. It's like transparent crystallized patterns.
Nice.
Like the weaving patterns that are from like Guatemala, El Salvador, like those color patterns, except it's not colored, but
Oh my god, yes.
but that's how the detail is.
Oh, I
And it's
love
just-
that.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love all of your characters so much. I love them. Okay, then in that case, you're about to make a roll.
Yeah.
Because you are defending someone or something. I assume are you defending your allies, or are you defending, like, the innocents in the area? What's your priority here?
Both.
Okay.
Though, like, a little annoyed at Andrian.
Okay.
If like, so he might get a little bit of, like, spray.
Okay, so if you have to
It's fine.
prioritize, then it ends up being Rosa.
Yeah.
Cool. Go ahead and roll. You're going to be rolling 2 6-sided dice and adding your savior.
Okay. Did I do it? Did not click. Oh, that pop-up came up. That's why.
Yeah.
We're gonna figure out roll 20 one of these days.
Oh, that's
There you
pretty.
go. You got.
And then plus
summon.
a 1 for savior. So
Nice.
Ooh.
What is it?
8.
8. All right, fantastic. So, for NPC threats, on a hit, you keep them safe and choose one. From add a team to the pool, take influence over someone you protect, or clear a condition. So you get to choose that first. You can either, like, the team is coming together and working together, and everyone's got each other's back, and that's amazing.
Kind of working together.
Or you could take influence. Influence is something that lets you essentially tell people who they are and gives you a bonus when you do things towards them. And
That's for allies, right?
influence is something that characters have over each other. So all adults have influence over all teenagers.
Okay. Well, I was wondering, can I use it against the gang?
No, it's over someone you protect.
Oh, okay.
Or
Yeah,
you can clear a condition, but you have no conditions marked.
Yeah, I'll add it to the team pool.
Cool. So team is up to 5. That's a nice place to be. When you see, like, someone at a 6 or at a 9, that's a great time to use team to boost up to the next level. But on a 7 to 9, it costs you. You can either expose yourself to danger or escalate the situation. And I'm going to give that to be your choice.
Expose myself to danger.
Okay, great. So we get this panel that shows Selena standing in front and just, like, weaving this big setup, right? And, like, having all of these symbols building out around her and around her team. And just constantly, there's just, like, all of these laser fires just, like, hitting over and over and over again. And you're starting to, like, feel the kickback from that, right? Like, it's starting to, like, burst through. And, like, how do we see that, like, your shields, that, like, the energy from the shield is hitting you as well?
That's a good question. It's well, because since I already established with the dreaming thing, like, it goes through her hands a little bit.
Okay.
Like some crackle, like almost psychic, like crackle.
Yeah.
And there's like a flare up in one of her eyes. And that's
Nice.
usually that only happens when she's doing a strong power, like a strong, or if it's too much.
Yeah. So there's all of this crackle just, like, building up over your hands and, like, sort of, like, just shooting off in all different directions, and your eye is heating up, and, like, you can feel this mounting pressure. This is going, like, if you can feel the weave is going to break, and
Okay.
if that breaks, it's gonna, like, sling back like a rubber band. And that will be a rubber band, like, directly to the brain, essentially. Like a psychic rubber band to the brain. That's not a great thing.
Yeah.
Sounds
So
wonderful.
Selena calls. I was like, "Are you guys gonna do something or what? I can't keep up with this all day."
I am going to run towards the skull man with the gun,
Nice.
and I'm gonna do a huracan rana on him.
Ooh.
All right. Do you mind
So-
describing that just for people that
Yes,
aren't
I
in the
was- I
wrestling
was.
know? Cool.
So Tala's gonna run, and then basically put her legs around his head,
Okay.
and then flip him so that he's on the floor.
Nice. So you're going to be up on top of this floating rock.
Yes.
Great.
I have springy boots.
Nice. Awesome. I wasn't doubting it. I just wanted to make sure that you knew that you were near the thing that could fall and explode at any
Yeah.
second.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
It's just an element of danger.
Yeah, exactly. So first off, let's go ahead and roll to directly engage a threat. So you'll roll 2d6 plus
I'm gonna
danger.
roll my special move,
Okay.
which is normally called Fight the Good Fight, but I have changed it to Work a Match,
Okay.
where you roll Savior instead of Danger when you're pulling your punches, because I could have gone straight to kick him in the head. I could have hurt him real badly. I'm just disarming him and maybe knocking him out.
Nice. I dig it. So go ahead and roll plus savior.
So I'm gonna roll that.
I just realized that my headphones are run through this button in my shirt. So if you see me standing up, just like shout for me not to, because I'll take down my mic when I do.
Extra hold.
Yeah. I'll fix it.
That was an 8.
Fantastic. So on a hit, you'll trade blows. On a 7 to 9, you pick one. You can resist or avoid their blows, take something from them, create an opportunity for your allies, or impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition.
So when I use this move, I cannot impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
So I will take something from them.
Okay.
Or can you repeat them again? It's been a while since I
Absolutely.
played this, yeah.
Resist or avoid their blows,
Mm-hmm.
take something from them, or create an opportunity for your allies.
I'm not gonna resist or avoid, so
Okay.
that's gonna be fun. I'm gonna take the gun away and just like throw it in the foam so they won't be able to get it.
Cool. Sounds good. So now that we've got you up there, let's say there's a couple more people up there. There's the driver, who is he's a shorter dude. He's got those like implanted spikes on his head, like the little like piercing spike things. There is a woman in the back seat who has who's like fiddling with what looks like a chainsaw. And like she's trying to like get that like figured out and like revved up. And there's a skinny person. They've got robotic arms. 'Cause
Okay.
why not? And they're sitting on like the next to the woman with the chainsaw and like kind of like trying to stay out of the way of the chainsaw. But also getting ready with like what looks like a big like cannon. Like you can like that's the crew that's up there. But their leader is the one that you just done grabbed and slammed into the ground.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah. So we get a panel that shows him just like getting the legs around the neck and like pulling the gun on you, and you just slap it out of his hand, and it like twirls down and thuds into the foam, and starts just like and like slows down and stops in there. And the two of you just like are pull down, and there's just a kick from like a huge metal boot that goes right into Rosa's face. And like there's like that first hit kind of takes just like a second, but then he just like continues like slamming his foot down. But you're choking him out at this point. Like you have a good position on this guy, but I'm also gonna need you to take a powerful blow.
I will.
You're doing great, sweetie.
Thank you. She's yelling from on top.
And he's
I do not believe this person is. Would consider him an enemy far more powerful than me?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so my other move won't kick in, so I'll just do. That's a flat 2d6.
Yes, because you
I
roll
don't
plus
have
conditions marked.
Mm-hmm. Submit. That's a 6. Perfect.
6, very nice. Take a powerful blow is one of only a couple moves you want to roll low on, because rolling high is a bad thing for that one. So on a miss, you stand strong. Mark potential, which is your experience, and tell us how you weather getting like repeatedly stomped in the mouth.
I think she just switches the hold, right?
Okay.
After the first kick, she just moves to the leg, and she just starts twisting that ankle until like it stops moving.
Okay, awesome. I love it. So from the back seat, there's still like just chaos going on, and the chainsaw is still like not quite revving up, but Flaco gets out of the back and he's got this just like this cannon style thing, and he brings it around and it like swings wildly, but it eventually does manage to like line up towards Selena's shield. And you can see just like heat starting to form around it as it gets ready to blast. And the driver like shouts over his shoulder, shit, we just gotta move. I'm just gonna go. Hold tight, okay? Just fucking hold tight. What do you do?
Who are you asking?
Oh, probably. Well, you're a little busy.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
So I'm looking for Flyby and Corandaria to tell me what they're doing.
Okay, so who is still in the Jeep?
Still in the Jeep, we've got the driver, and we've got the woman with the chainsaw. They're the only two in the Jeep. The skinny guys hopped out the back, and they're building up this big blast for you. But the big skull leader is on the ground.
Okay. Here's possibly a really bad idea.
I love it.
I would like to just sort of let the gravity go and then pick it back. Just kind of jostle him a little bit. See if I can get him to pop out.
Okay. So you're trying to pop them out of the car.
Yeah, like shaking a rattlesnake.
Go ahead and roll to
How many
unleash.
rattlesnakes have you played with?
None?
Just like shaking a rattlesnake, a casual thing that we talk about doing on the LatinXplosion. Yeah. Yeah. If you're not familiar with shaking a rattlesnake, it's just you're probably not Latinx. That's a real normal thing. All of us do that all the time.
That's
Oh,
what
boy.
my mom always said. Si hubiera sido serpiente, ya lo hubieras shaked at it.
Definitely. Go ahead and roll to
That must
unleash
be
your
a Mexican
powers.
It's not a Mexican thing.
Well, the actual one that my mom used to say, si fuera víbora ya te había picado, when
Yeah.
I'm looking for something and I can't find it, and it's in front of me.
I think I've heard that a couple of times.
I've heard that.
In my family, we say, this is a good idea, like spearfishing an octopus. I don't think that's a Mexican thing. I just think that that's a familial thing.
Yeah, just
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
okay. But go ahead and roll to it. I love the Comunidad performing right now. But go ahead and roll to unleash your powers again.
Oh, get the fuck ready, bitch.
Yeah, I know.
9 plus 2.
What is it?
9 plus 2.
Oh shit,
So
10
11.
plus. So you do it. So you're shaking them out. Tell us what this looks like. Like, where are they ending up?
I think you probably just hear a few banging noises of them like lifting up because the gravity around them is manipulated. So they're
Yeah.
also lifting in the container and then dropping it a little. And so you hear them just like slam back into their chairs.
Oh,
And he just like does it a couple times.
nice.
Or kind of flipping it over to the side. And they just sort of like
Yeah.
flip out the car.
And yeah, they're jostled right out. And like, are you leaving the car up there on the rock?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So they're still like up on like this raised platform, but they're not in the car. They're a little more exposed. And like the driver is, and like I think maybe like the stone is starting to tilt also. So they're like having to like scramble to try to get back to the car. And they're in like they're definitely like in chaos. They're not fully focused and ready to go at this point. Selena, what are you doing?
Yeah, so after the whole shield thing, finally, like, once that all died down, she had broken the shield and she went for cover because she's not stupid.
Okay.
And she wants to enter into the dreams of the leader.
Oh, okay. I
And
do want to
figure
remind
out-
you that
Yes.
we've got the skinny member who has like a huge gun, and like they're kind of like they're tilted, but they weren't in the car, so they weren't fully thrown about.
Yeah.
They're
So
they're still
have
like
access.
they're in play like right now,
Yeah.
which
Okay, no,
doesn't
then,
mean you
yeah.
couldn't jump into
I wanna-
theirs.
No, yeah, I'm gonna jump into their head then.
Cool.
The skinny member and see like immediate like what is there any other ulterior goal? And if not, then I'm gonna edit some memories.
Nice. So here's what I want you to do.
If it's just
First-
straight up like cause mayhem, okay. I can
Yeah.
deal with it.
I would like you to pierce someone's mask.
Okay.
So that is a roll. It's made using mundane, and it gives you questions about the person who you're getting information about.
Okay.
And you and we can potentially play with stuff as we go along, because it might be that mundane isn't the thing that makes the most sense always for this. But for now, let's just play with it, and we'll move forward and see how it happens.
Okay, so I'm gonna try and click this. See if this works. A hit.
Nice. An 8. Cool. So on a 7 to 9, you get to ask 1. What are you really planning? What do you want me to do? What do you intend to do? How could I get your character to do blank? Or how could I gain influence over you?
I guess what are you really planning?
Okay.
I want to see if it's just mayhem that they're trying to do, or if this is a distraction for something else.
That was phenomenal. That was phenomenal insight. This is a distraction.
Shit.
So you jump. What does it look like when you jump into the dream?
So now that I've taken cover, I kind of slump a little bit. But I'm hopefully in theory feel shielded.
Yeah.
And if anyone's looking at me, like my eyes are like flickering, like open and close, and kind of like the white of the eyes kind of thing. Since I'm just basically checking their memory, there's nothing else out of ordinary at the moment. And like we established in last session, it's now to the point where I'm a video editor, and I'm Tony
Okay.
Stark, and I'm just looking at all these like cool computer graphic images of these memories, and getting feelings and everything. And then so I'm seeing like, I'm presuming then I'm seeing either whoever, if it's not this leader, if it's somebody else talking to him, like, okay, you guys are distraction,
Yeah.
or I see a glimpse of whatever what the main event is.
Cool. Yeah. So I think that works perfectly. They're like, we've got the meeting with the crew, and they're like all hanging around, just kind of, having beers, and there's like a video call pulled up with a shadowy figure on it that looks like she's wearing like kind of a broad-shouldered suit, and she's saying, "You just be sure you draw the attention of any heroes in the area, because when I hit the bank, I don't want any distractions."
Ooh.
And like, there's like a map on the table that you're able to get a good glance at. You have to zoom in. You have to like, change some
roll
effects.
and, like,
Exactly. But there's
embiggen.
there's like a huge, like, big metropolitan bank that they're going to come in on with a helicopter and steal a bunch of stuff. This isn't the rundown. The rundown crew's been hired by somebody
Right.
bigger.
Okay, so I don't know if I need to make another roll for it, but I want to change the memory of like, okay, you're told to stand down as soon as supers show up,
Okay.
so that he would stop.
Go ahead and roll to provoke someone.
Okay.
Normally this would be done like through like a verbal thing, but I think that makes sense.
Okay. Keep forgetting these have pop-ups. Oh fuck. 2.
Oh, that's not great.
Because I'm a -1 superior.
Oh boy. So at a 2, first off, when you fail a roll,
dear.
you do immediately get to mark potential.
Okay.
So that's really nice. However, I then get to do something bad.
Ooh, I forgot to mark potential for my take a.
Yes, for you take a powerful blow.
Yeah.
Oops, it was nice knowing everybody.
Yeah, so then you die. No, I'm kidding. So
That's not how the system works. You know it.
What? We're not doing D&D superhero edition?
Yeah.
So like we see you like all in your head, and then we come out to a panel that shows the person with the huge gun just like looking out into space, and the gun like heating up, and then their finger just like instinctually twitches, and there's just like a burst of blue light that just explodes behind you and blows up a huge part of the street.
Yikes.
And Flyby, you're tossed back a little bit, and Selena, like, you're jostled into awakeness, and the driver at that point has scrambled into the back of the Jeep. He hurls himself forward and just like slams on the accelerator, and the Jeep goes flying off of the stone as the stone comes slamming into the ground. Now, that means a lot of things just happened. The woman with the chainsaw jumps forward and grabs onto the back of the Jeep and is kind of being like dragged along for like dragged through the air as she tries to climb into it.
Not very smart.
Flacco is just like, he hits the ground, he's down. Like, there's no question, he's probably broken some stuff. And Rosa, you and the leader are also falling. Now, you know how to kind of fall and protect yourself in some ways, I imagine. But he is losing consciousness. And, like, so you have control of the situation. What are you doing? In the split moment before you hit the ground.
Built-in cushion.
Well,
Right.
you take a fall. She knows how to fall, so
Yeah.
she like takes a fall and rolls through it, ducks chin in.
Cool.
Falls, hits the ground rolling, so hopefully she like can like prevent any damage.
Yeah. And we've got the foam in place. So I think things like it falls and like there is like a cracking noise as the leader like as the stone hits the foam, and then the leader hits the stone. And he's moving a little bit, but like it's mostly
Okay,
like
we didn't do a murder.
Yeah, no. You did not
No
do a murder on day
their
one.
first day.
But the two
No
of them,
murders on there.
he will maybe be getting back up, but probably not anytime super soon. And the rest of the rundown crew is driving away fast. Now, at this moment also, an adult cape is going to be arriving. So,
Like, Scoob.
would you like it to be... Do any of you have an adult cape that you'd like to arrive from your other life and setup? Or should I bring in one of my own for whatevskis?
It's up to you. I think the one we talked about from the legacy that's still active is Rosa Azul.
Okay.
I basically said they're non-binary Batman,
Okay.
non-binary Lucha Batman.
Okay.
But if you have someone else you want to do,
Yeah, Adrienne's godmother, she's a superhero, and feel free to use her.
Cool.
But I have no particular preference.
also this was the one who is quite no, this one is still active and prominent in the city. Never mind, this is not the judgmental one.
Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to quickly flip a coin, by which I mean roll a dice. 1s and 2s, we've got Azul. 3 and 4, we have Godmother, who I've got to grab a name for. And 5 and 6, it'll be one of mine.
All right.
We've got Azul. So,
Okay.
there is just, like, there's a moment where the three of you are just, like, looking at what is going down and going, like, wow,
Fuck.
things kind of feel like they're getting out of control. And then from a rooftop nearby, there is just like this streaking blue shape that just like comes down and lands on top of like the leader of the crew and just presents like a single bump hit to the face, and he's out. And Rosa Azul just stands up in all of their glory. Big lucha cape going, wonderful lucha mask. Like we've got all sorts of like onomatopoeia for like their theme song playing, and like just huge text saying, "This situation is handled. You can leave it to Rosa Azul."
And you get, I think you get like a close up of La Rosa's face, and like first, no, I was gonna say first it looks blank, but actually no, she's just beaming. Like she can't control it.
Yeah.
She can't be like, maybe in her head she's like, no, this was our job, we could have taken care of it. But like, she's like, no, this is awesome. This is my family. This is my legacy.
Yeah.
She's wearing the mask, but you can the mask design, like the mouth is open and the eyes are open, so you can see like her eyes like twinkling, her smiling wide.
Yeah. And Rosa Azul immediately finds La Rosa and goes, "Explain yourself. What's going on?"
Do I know this was a distraction yet or no?
No, I don't think I had a chance to tell anyone. Right now, I think I'm coughing up dust.
They were exploding the La Bodega. We tried to stop them. They're very well armed to just be exploding things. We, just did the best we could.
And
You did fine.
and they
knocked
look
one out. The leader and the Rock like twitching.
and they look at the fact that like there's a big old chunk, like a 20 by 20 chunk of road that is just rubble right now.
I can fix it.
And like there's like a building that's like missing part of its side.
I didn't do that.
And
No,
just
no,
that's from
yeah,
that was from before. We didn't do that one. But
Like the road, yeah, sure, we'll take that one, but no, we didn't do the building.
and they look to Rosa and they say, we're gonna talk about the damage that you allowed to happen today later, but for now
Yeah.
I'm putting you back in the fight. And they're walking over to you and they're about to grab onto you and just hurl you after
Oh my
them,
goodness.
like do like a spinning to hurl you
That's
forward.
awesome.
But
Yeah,
that's-
no, but like this is not weird for her. She did this drill 100 times.
Yeah.
you know?
When you were like 2 years
Like,
old.
Yeah, well, 12,
it.
but still.
that's how I learned how to
Like-
swim.
Get picked up, get thrown, run back. Get
Yeah.
picked up, get thrown, run back.
Now
Over and over and over again.
that is also them telling you who you are or how the world works. They're
Okay.
using their influence over you. They are saying,
Are they gonna switch my labels or?
yeah, they're gonna raise your danger and
Okay.
lower your savior. They're saying
Well, that's-
you're not being a savior that's helping everybody. You're being dangerous.
Okay.
And we're gonna have words
Honestly,
later.
That kind of helps right now.
Perfect. Yeah, cool.
That moves my danger from -1 to 0 and my savior from 3 to 2. So.
Cool.
So Selena gets up, and after she watches little Rosa get thrown towards this, like, it was a distraction. They're hitting up a bank. Well, not them. Some other people. They were hired for a distraction.
Oh. Well, fuck. That's not good. Well,
So yes, we get a panel that shows Rosa just being like swung around in circles while this conversation is happening, and just like spun above Azul's head like, ah! And then just hurled after, and Azul just starts like sprinting after, and like has like a hook shot that they like fling into a building, and the two of them are like after the rundown crew while this conversation's going down. So you know where the bank is also, for what that's worth.
I
do?
have
Yeah.
I have an iPhone. And you have the name of the bank.
We got.
So we're ready.
Yeah, I guess if the Delt's not gonna listen, we'll go after the bank.
Is that the plan?
Yeah.
Leave Rosa and Rosa Azul to handle things over here, and you'll go after the bank.
I'll WhatsApp her. It's fine.
Cool.
Yeah.
Selena's like, this is a really bad idea, but there's nothing else to do. We gotta do it.
There was a name that I came up with earlier, and now I'm blanking on it. And that's so upsetting to me. This is the thing where I'm used to being in a podcast where I get to just pause and go like, oh, hold on, let me come up with a name for this. So I'm not going to do that, though. I tried to Google for a second, but I'm just going to jump back in. So,
There's someone in the chat. Can we use someone's name in the chat?
So here's what I'm looking for.
Do you want some names from my list of names in Spanish?
What I'm looking for is the name of a card-based villain. And so I'm just going to leave that to the chat, and I'll pull something up from it as we get there. But for now, we can stick with Rosa and Rosa Azul.
Evil right. No.
So like poker, card tricks, card games, all sorts of things like that. And so we get the panel showing
Blackjack?
Blackjack's kind of nice. The
dealer, maybe?
Oh, I want the dealer. Blackjack is going to be a related character, no question. No question. Okay, cool. So, spoiler alert, that's who you're going to be dealing with.
I don't know the type of villain, but do they have a bunch of little minions? Like little henchmen?
That's
and
the
when
Queen
it's
of
like,
Hearts.
it's poker, blackjack, other card games, Forgotten,
Texas Hold'em.
Rummy.
Canasta.
Bridge. Someone's called Bridge.
Yeah, her name's Bridget. They call her Bridge. Great. So, we're going to get back to that in a second, because, you know what? Let's jump straight to it. We have now a panel that shows this black helicopter that's just, like, going calmly over the space and moving by, seeing, like, the explosions and smoke. And it just sort of, like, pulls down, and we see people in just, like, jet black military style, like, kind of SWAT looking things, but with diamond card suits on their sleeves. And so like they're like dropping in and moving into position. Flyby, Curanderia, how are you getting to the bank? And are you letting Rosa know in any way, or are you just going?
I WhatsApped her.
Yeah, okay, you WhatsApped her.
Yeah, I left her like a video message which was like, hey Rosa, you decided to, I don't know, get seismic tossed into the next century, so we gotta go to a bank. Let me know if you need to withdraw. Also, there are villains there. So surprise, meet us there if you can. Bye.
I like that you chose the least convenient way to communicate. Like, a text would have been so much easier. Like a video call.
A series of GIFs and memes.
Oh,
it's just like 12 emojis, and like there's a word in between every single emoji.
I've got a WhatsApp video, but like I've only got 3G right now. I'll watch it later. Great. So we don't care how you get there. You get there, right?
Yeah.
What does it look like as you're coming up to the bank?
Like, I assume it's one of like those old style banks, so it looks
Hell yeah.
like it has like that old architecture of the
Nice.
Colosseum and like rows and everything. And are they just starting the heist, or is it in the middle of the heist?
They're starting the heist. They haven't closed the bank down yet. Right?
Okay,
Like they haven't, things aren't tied up. They're starting the heist.
So do you think we could just walk in and like ask for a withdrawal? Do you think we could do that? Just be nonchalant. I know I'm covered in dirt, but
Yeah, we're kids. This is a really fancy bank. I don't think that's gonna work this time.
I don't know about you. I have inheritance. I'm fucking with you. Let's just go in and start some shit, you know?
Like, so that it just sighs, like, why do I deal with this again? Like, kind of thing. Let me look at.
Let's see here.
Do we see anybody shady like on the outside?
You see that there's like a helicopter up above.
Mm-hmm. And I think on the way to the bank, I would have told told him like everything that I saw in the
Okay.
memory.
Great, yeah. Yeah, we can do a lot of like, and I explain things. And we go,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're like coming, so you're just walking in the front door then.
Yeah.
But keeping low profile, or are you like trying to look like supers?
I'm not trying to look like a super. I'm just trying to. Yeah, I'm keeping a
Yeah.
low profile.
Cool.
Well, worst comes to worst, I can just lift up one of them and drop them on a completely different person.
Perfect.
That's my plan right now. We'll workshop it when we get there.
Perfect.
Part of me wants to give Andrea a very bad and dangerous idea.
Oh, tell me the bad and dangerous idea. I absolutely live for it.
Because of the helicopter. That's presumably their escape route. If we cut off the helicopter,
I did
and
consider that.
between gravity and psychic construct,
So we've got like,
we could do something so that they're trapped in the bank.
so
Like
we've got this
concept.
we've got this conversation going on with the two of you like awkwardly standing in the bank
Yeah.
surrounded by like very fancy looking people. Like everybody's in like suit and tie and like carrying briefcases. Like the artist had some fun with this. Every single character in this scene has a briefcase. And like it's like big and resplendent and everything like that. And then we get like a huge word bubble coming in with like everybody on the ground. And we go back to La Rosa. You're hurling through the air. You're going after
You're
that.
checking your phone while you're holding.
So like you're like flying through the air right now towards the back of the Jeep. You've been thrown fast enough. You're gonna get to the back of the Jeep. What do you do when you get there?
Is there anyone there? When I'm seeing, am I seeing like just the Jeep, or are there people there on the Jeep?
So the driver's in the front. The driver's got himself into the front seat, and he's starting to like get some control of the car. And the woman who had the chainsaw has now gotten into the back seat and is standing on the back seat with the chainsaw going at full speed now.
Okay, I think crossbody or like double boots to the head. Let's do the double boots to the head. I think as she's spinning, she like rights her body so that she's going boots, and she's wearing her like wrestling boots,
Yeah.
which she's always wearing, and goes straight. For those who've seen WWE, will be kind of like the coup de grace that Finn Balor does, but straight to the. I assume as she's looking back to the back of the head.
Cool.
Two boots.
Great. Go ahead and roll to directly engage a threat.
Yeah, I don't think that one is working a match. I don't think that one's pulling my punches.
That doesn't sound like it.
Yeah, if I had done the crossbody, maybe, but I feel right now she's going to engage. So. Let's see, because that's a 0. Nope, that's a 2.
Oh, a 2 total?
I rolled the 1 and 1, so even if I had rolled with my +3, that would have been a 5.
Amazing. So you like come in hard and you go to move immediately into the kick, and she just spins around with this chainsaw, and we get a panel of it coming directly at your face, and then we just get you just like lifted, because right at that moment Rosa Azul has grabbed the back of your uniform or your costume,
Yeah.
and just like lifted you up and out of the way. But that is like embarrassing and not nice, and so I'm gonna ask you to mark a condition.
Okay.
Your
Look at
choice.
my conditions. Let's see what we got here. Afraid, angry, guilty, insecure, hopeless. I don't think it's hopeless.
Maybe insecure.
Maybe insecure. Insecure seems to be. I think yeah. It would be insecure or guilty, but I'm gonna go with insecure.
Yeah, and I think Rosa Azul like lifts you out of the way and just catches onto the chainsaw, and they've got like big thick metal gloves that there's just with sparks going all over the place. and they say, Rosa, I've had to save you twice today. If you're not going to start helping, then I suggest you get the hell out of my way.
Bitch.
What do you do?
She's like, I think she just goes straight for the driver at that point.
Cool.
Straight for a knockout choke. Like, not even thinking that maybe this is dangerous. She just goes straight to the...
Oh, we've lost sound.
You got muted by accident.
Can you hear us? Oh, technology.
I cannot hear y'all.
Okay.
There you go.
Oh,
you
we can
hear
hear
us
you
now?
now.
Hi, do you need me to repeat what I said?
Yeah, I'm sorry. It seems like we cut off for some reason.
Okay. No, she goes to the back of the driver and she puts a choke on the back of the neck.
Nice.
Yeah.
Great. And so, this isn't even a threat at this point. The driver's not ready to fight you. They thought that, that things were kind of handled. And so we just get the panel that shows you just like grabbing onto the driver and you have control of them. What are you doing?
I'm knocking them out. I'm chucking them out.
Cool. Yeah.
They're going night-night.
Boom. They're
Like,
asleep.
I don't know if that got cut off, but I was saying she's not even thinking like what happens when the car is not being controlled. She's
Just knocking them out.
yeah, she's not thinking. She's going straight and knocking them out.
Yeah, so we get like there's a moment as like he reaches up and like tries to get it like the hands underneath your arm and like pats it a couple of times like uncle.
I'm actually
And-
gonna switch insecure for angry.
Cool.
Based on what you said, it makes more sense for her to be angry.
Cool. Yeah,
Maybe
I'm
angry
sorry. I
at
should have given you the
herself,
whole
angry
thing.
at things.
Yeah. But like the driver's like gives a couple taps and then slumps. And the car just turns on the road. It starts to like swing to the side and one of its wheels hits a nearby building and it starts just like grinding up the side of the building because it's got these spike wheels. And so it's now at like a 45-degree
I think
angle.
you see a panel of her face.
Yeah.
Like, still with the choke, and then just her eyes are like focused, and then she like notices like, and her face like softens. She's like, oh no.
And yeah, so we're at like a 45-degree angle, and it's just like grinding through across a building and like shattering window. And up ahead, we can see that you're coming towards an intersection, and there's a bus, like a big tour bus, that is just stopped right in front of you. And we go back to the bank. Inside, we have... Now there's like a whole bunch of the people in like the diamond SWAT outfits, right? Like they're taking over the place. The security guards are like immediately like, all right, we know procedure. People are getting on the ground. And we have someone step forward from the back. She's a tall black woman. She's in this like really nicely tailored, really beautiful suit, except it's got kind of like broad shoulders. Just kind of like a power suit. Like it looks really great. And she looks around and just gives like a kind of almost like a coy smile and says, "Finish this quickly. I've got places to be." What do you do?
Bitch, me too. What the fuck?
And I have a name for her. I remembered what it is.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Selena's gonna do the same thing, and I guess try to get into her memories.
Okay.
So she's right there. Like,
Cool. And Flyby, what are you
Listen, if
doing?
it worked before.
So, if any of them turn around for a second, I'm gonna do something that's mildly stupid, but it's not life-threatening.
Okay.
I'd like to start with that. I would like to just try and basically float my body up towards the ceiling and be out of this lower ground situation, so maybe I can get up to the roof as quickly as possible.
Okay. Are you trying to like sneak up, or are you just like floating yourself right up in the middle of the damn room?
Well, my plan is usually
Chris
Andre
Angel.
can, like, basically fly. He just has to like build up momentum.
Yeah.
Basically by like like when you kick off from a pool, that sort
Yeah.
of thing. So his plan is the minute like nothing's watching him, he's just gonna kick off and like get on the ceiling if he can.
Cool. Sounds good. Yeah, you do it. So flyby. There's just like a second where
Flies
fly.
right on by.
Yeah. If I'm saying to you like,
Selena's grateful that he didn't do anything like ostentatious like the last time.
I thought this was gonna be
He's
so
a
much
complete
worse.
idiot.
I thought this was gonna be so much worse when you started that sentence. So flyby, just like, there's like a second where people are like, moving around, people are getting into position and everything, and the guard nearest to flyby turns his back for a second, and it's just like, whoop, right off the floor to the ceiling.
Yeah.
And Selena, what are you doing in terms of like? It sounds like you kind of like slump when you go into people's heads. Are you like lying down or?
Well, I'm presuming everyone was told to get down on the
Yes.
ground anyways.
So you lay down to.
So yeah, she did it delayed. Like as soon as like she saw what Flyby was doing, it's like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Like,
And
I'm
so,
not listening.
so what are you trying to get right now? Are you trying to get information of like what her plans are? Are you trying to do something to her?
I mean, information. It's obvious what she wants to do, so I don't think I'm trying to get that. I'm
Okay.
trying to.
There's like
Yeah,
all sorts. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm trying to like get them to slow down
Okay.
so that maybe more adult supers can come, hopefully, or we can get backup, or figure a better plan.
Okay. So you're kind of It sounds like you're trying to essentially stop her from giving orders.
Yeah, like, or have her distracted, like.
Okay.
So that I can go upstairs and fuck up this helicopter in the meantime.
Cool. So
Yeah.
so it sounds like you're going into her head and like changing like what she's perceiving almost.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds to me like unleashing your powers.
Okay.
And then I'll just ask you. Oh, you also have the psychic constructs,
Yeah,
which
I have
ties in
psychic-
very nicely with that.
Yeah. She's just very used to relying on the whole like dream
In the brain, yeah.
ending. Yeah, in the brain stuff.
Cool.
Because I think for her, she hasn't quite mastered the psychic constructs stuff
Okay.
yet, and that scares her a little bit.
So
Do
what are you
even need to
showing her?
master Something?
What are you showing her in her mind?
That everything's taking longer. Like if-
Okay.
like let's say that she has a hacker and he's supposed to hack in the bank accounts. Like it's taking
Yeah.
longer than it actually is.
Nice.
Or they're slowing. It seems like they're slowing if they're taking money or gold bars or whatever. If it's all digital,
Yeah.
it's just like slow movements, which might be frustrating her. But
Yeah.
it's not like slow where it's like something's weird. Everyone's going in like
Nice.
like bullet time kind of thing.
Go ahead and roll to unleash your powers,
Okay.
which is rolling plus freak. What is it?
I got a 3.
Okay. So
We're all rolling ones.
Yeah.
I feel great.
I feel really good about this. So you do get to mark potential, which is very nice.
Yay.
It only takes 5 potential
I
to
just wanna
ding, so
make clear for the chat. That's the second 1+1 roll, and then the previous roll was 2+1.
we're doing very well.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So she pauses for a moment, and a look of kind of surprise comes to her face, and she touches her ear, and you can see she's got like a little device of some kind, like an earbud essentially, and it's like got a little red light on it. She taps it a couple of times, and looks around to her crew and says, "There's a telepath. Search them. Figure out who it is." And the SWAT
I
crew
don't hear-
basically.
Do I hear that though? Or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. And so like the SWAT crew starts going around person to person, and like they're just like grabbing civilians, like flipping them over and like kind of like shaking them and going like, yeah, and like
Very good.
one of them, like there's like an older guy, and he's like, because it's a comic book, so there has to be an older guy that stands up to them, and he's like, "You can't do this. This bank has served my family for 4 generations," and just punch in the face, and he's down. Flyby.
He's dead.
No, he's down. He's down.
Whoa!
Straight
I was gonna
murdered
be like,
this
that's
old
a
man.
lot.
No.
Oh, a punch.
I'm not gonna. You'll have to screw up way worse for me to start killing people.
So
I mean,
I
it's good to know.
Yeah.
Putting
Fly
that
by.
down.
You're on the ceiling. And
yes, I am.
and you're seeing this stuff going down. What do you do?
I don't know. I was not expecting that.
Yeah. She's immune to your telepath.
Now I'm having another bad idea,
Do it.
and my
Aren't they just always bad ideas?
my brain is saying immense property damage, but my heart is saying it would be sick as fuck. This is a very big fancy bank, isn't it?
And we get those as thought bubbles. And then we go back to Rosa. There's like 3 quick panels where it shows Rosa Azul basically like take the chainsaw, throw it aside with like a look of disgust on her face, and just like punch to the solar plexus, knee down to the crotch, and then like slam in the face, and the chainsaw wielder just like crumples in the back of the Jeep. And they're standing in kind of like this like jaunty in control position, and like totally does the Batman like 1 foot up stance, cape going, and looks up to you and just says, Rosa, the bus. Rosa, the bus.
I go straight for the bus.
You're going through the bus? I think they're trying to tell you not to hit the bus full of people.
Oh, I was thinking of maybe. Oh well, I have the control. I think she's about to jump, and I'm like, wait, no, and she like tries to like move the car and avoid the bus.
Go ahead and roll to defend.
Okay, great. That's the thing that I have minuses on right now. Because of angry. How do you get rid of angry? I can't remember. I mean, make sure. Maybe I already get rid of it?
You destroy something important.
No.
I don't think you want to do that right now.
Yeah. I mean, more than the property damage? Not that important, I guess. Oof. I don't even want to roll this. Oh, wait, no. Angry conform support appears to mask.
Oh, okay, great.
Okay. So Savior. It's a 2 on Savior.
Okay.
Submit. 13.
Oof. Nice. So you keep them safe and you choose one. Add a team to the pool, take influence over someone you protect, or clear a condition.
I'm gonna clear that angry.
Nice. So what does this look like? You've taken control of this vehicle and you are saving these people. Give me that panel.
I think she turns and the vehicle starts rolling.
Yeah.
So like this is not gonna be like, oh, she's driving away. No, she's moving the vehicle so that it starts rolling and it like passes right next to the front of the bus.
Nice.
And like maybe hits maybe not something too bad. Maybe like it just like hits some bushes or maybe a tree.
Yeah. And yeah, so we see that just like this tumbling, and we see Rosa will grab onto each of the gang members and like just kind of like drag them back into the Jeep so they don't get crushed by it. And like just it rolls and just is like on its side, and our next panel shows the 4 of you sitting out like standing outside the Jeep, and Rosa Azul is like just binding them to the vehicle. And like just like moving with just like military precision.
Yeah, I love the idea that after that, La Rosa starts messing around in her tool bed and like brings out 2 zip ties, and then she just sees that they're like binded by the metal of the Jeep. And I was like,
oh yes.
Wow.
Second. I guess not.
This is so wrestly.
I'm trying. And so Rosa Azul like looks up at you and goes, "Didn't you have 2 friends helping you?"
And that's like the first time it like hits her. I'm like, oh wait, why aren't? Because she probably said, oh yeah, they're doing crowd control, they're taking care of.
Normally.
And then she just feels the vibration of her phone.
One missed one app. WhatsApp.
Yeah, and I think the panel ends with her pressing play, and like the beginning of the message.
Yeah.
Yes.
We get Flyby's face in the
Hey,
phone.
Rosa.
Hey. And then Flyby's face again inside the bank. At this point, like, there's always silent alarms. So there's police sirens outside and things like that. They're starting to get into position and hunker down. But, your capes, you know how this works. They're not going to come inside. It's too dangerous. So what do you do?
Well, so my bad idea.
Yeah.
This is a very fancy bank.
Yes.
How many chandeliers are in this bank?
Oh, it's so old school.
As many as you want. You just tell me.
That's great. That's really, really great. I love that.
Let's stay in like some of the theme. And oh my god, this is perfect actually, because we've got like these like diamond theme people, and so like maybe what they're here to do is get like this huge centerpiece chandelier, and like so like they're like they're gonna steal other stuff as well, but like you gotta steal the big chandelier that's diamond themed if you're diamond themed.
Yeah.
And so like you see Trick Taker like point up at it, and did I say her name before?
No, you didn't.
no.
You
Well,
teased us.
there it is, Trick Taker. And so like she points up at the chandelier for a minute and goes like, we're gonna bring it down, and we gotta find the telepath first. Deal with the capes first, and then we get what we came for. And there's just like this like 7-layer chandelier that's all like these perfect, beautiful Swarovski diamonds that's just like up there glittering with beautiful light, and it's right in front of your eyes, and it's so beautiful, and it's so close.
But
and
is
it's
it
yours.
hanging over where we are, or is it over the what do you call them, the tele people?
It's hanging over like the middle of the bank, and it's big.
Would it land on any civilians?
That might depend how good you are at what you do.
Huh. Well.
I could technically throw up a shield if I know about what's going to happen.
Oh. Yeah.
Or if you react
however,
quickly enough.
Do you send another WhatsApp?
I don't really want your
Hey, girl,
phone
how
to
you
go
doing?
off during a heist.
Or a text? Like,
Do 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 do
Good
do
thing
do
we
do.
all have Face ID nowadays. They can't just unlock it.
yeah.
Well, who knows? They're super villains. You're not like telepathic. Do you want to get in my brain?
Also, legit, one of the SWAT people
Yeah,
is
that's what I
coming
was
up to current area like right now. He's on his way.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Okay.
I think I send like I give you a false memory of saying like, hey, of me basically. I think that's how that's how it works for Selena. Like the way she talks to other people in their minds is by giving them a false memory of having this conversation already.
Okay.
Oh, so there's like a deja vu feeling.
Yeah.
Weird. Huh.
Like it's like,
I
oh,
feel
remember?
like-
I feel like we've had this situation before that I was on the ceiling and she was on the ground and there was a SWAT team coming, and then like I can't remember. This is so weird.
So I'm gonna say I assume you're gonna make a distraction. Do I need to save the people? Send an emoji. My phone's on vibrate.
Yeah, I send her like a couple like, I don't know. What's a good emoji? I send her like 5 corn emojis. I don't know.
Perfect. And then what do you do?
Um,
Flyby. Let's see it.
Yeah.
Okay, he's gonna just sort of like float up towards the chandelier a little bit, and he's gonna get really close. And this is an old chandelier. The wiring is probably pretty easy to fuck up.
Yep.
And Adrien, even though he's a piece of shit and very, very reckless, is also, incidentally, kind of a genius.
Checks
And
out.
so- but it doesn't
they're
take
usually
a
hand in
genius
hand.
to take out a fucking pocket knife and hack away at these things.
Amazing. So you're just dropping it?
I'll gravity hold on to it for a minute before I drop it.
Cool.
I gotta time this real fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think like once I see the corn emoji, I'm like, what the fuck? Look up. It's like, oh shit. in my head, I say I was like, and um, I guess.
So I think we have to move. I think here's the way to do it. I think Flyby that this is a directly engage a threat. Because
Oh,
I think you're
yes.
trying to crush her with this.
Yes.
Right. Yes. Yeah. This isn't like a distraction. This is an attack. So
Yes.
go ahead and roll plus danger.
Oh boy. Well, let's see how this goes, kids. What's my danger stat?
Aren't you a Nova? You should have a good danger.
Do I? I think I have a 1.
Okay. One's pretty good.
Better than 0.
2d6, right?
I always think of a +1 as a good stat.
6, and then +1 is a 7, so mixed, which is about how I thought it would go.
I was like, oh boy, I get to have so much fun now. All right, so on a hit trade blows, and I do promise I will manage to get her to hit you if you don't choose to resist. But on a 7 to 9, you pick one. Resist or avoid their blows. Take something from them. Create an opportunity for your allies, or impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition.
Create an opportunity for my allies, because I want her to protect all those people.
Okay, cool. Yeah. That totally checks out. And so like what creating an opportunity does is make it so it's like, hey, you don't need to roll. You've got an opportunity. You can do stuff.
Awesome.
So there's like a panel that shows you just like kind of like gently moving the chandelier and like lining it up and then it just dropping. And she
Don Juan triumphant.
she gets like she looks up at the last minute and her eyes widen and it just crushes onto her. And like she takes the full brunt of it.
Royal flush.
Amazing. Yes.
I'm just thinking Wile E. Coyote whenever a plan backfires and he's about to be like
Yeah,
those
yeah.
three guys in the like droopy like frown.
Yeah, but like a little bit more like sort of bored look on her face. And then just like and you see that she's just like lying on like you see the fancy suit and like a leg sticking out from underneath it. And then the rest of the team, like the rest of the SWAT team, just turns and brings guns to bear and start just like peppering the ceiling. Can Flyby doesn't have any sort of like super invulnerability or anything like that.
No, he does have a move that allows him to put up a shield of some sort. It's basically like a pulse, and it
Okay.
usually makes bullets drop.
Cool. So let's say this. Do you mind if I do a thing?
Go.
So I think you'll like it because you like destruction.
Shoot him.
So Flyby like pulls up like the shield, like the shielding pulse thing, and just like there's just like too much kinetic energy,
Oh, yeah.
and just gets like pushed through the back, like pushed through the ceiling,
Yeah.
and just
that-
like
that
shatters
checks.
through it. And so I'm gonna ask you to take a powerful blow.
That's valid.
Meanwhile, Selena is just like has cover over it. It's like, oh my god.
That's fine.
That's good.
So you're rolling plus conditions, which I think right now is +0. I need to start getting you
Yes.
all to mark more conditions. I mean, what?
I thought you were going to be a nice GM though.
That's not true. That's not me.
It's fine. This is minor property
No,
damage.
I'm huge fans of all of your characters, and I would only be nice by giving you nice things to deal with.
Of course. But then Pippin tells you otherwise, right?
Yeah. So Flyby, what's that powerful blow look like?
Well, actually, this is a great time to indicate some of the damage Adrien has inflicted upon himself by continuing to wear these gauntlets that are now fused to his body.
Okay.
He's probably got a couple cuts and scrapes, which means that he is, and he's also used up a lot of his energy, which means that he's probably bleeding quite a bit.
Okay.
Flyby, however, his body he has like these blue veins over his face usually that you can kind of see a little bit, but he actually bleeds like electric blue.
Oh, cool.
And
And
it kind of glows a little. It looks a little radioactive almost.
so go ahead and roll to take a powerful blow for being blasted through the wall. So that's a roll plus conditions marked, so it's just 2d6. And you want to roll low, so put your spirit and energy towards rolling low.
Okay.
Oh, that wasn't the last roll you had there?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I miss the powerful blow happening?
No.
Okay.
Oh, that was the other one. Okay, I got excited because that was a 6. But
Oh,
even
yay!
better.
What is it?
3.
3! Okay, on a miss you stand strong. And you basically told us how you weathered the blow. So you'll mark potential, which is great. And
Potentials.
and you're still that hurt a lot. That wasn't great. And you're bleeding, and that sucks. And it's blue and gross. But you're on your feet. You're making it.
Yeah.
Selena. Trick Taker just got hit by a friggin' Mack truck of diamonds.
Crystal chandelier.
Yeah. The SWAT team is blasting the hell out of the roof. They're still firing, like, where Flyby used to be, they're still just, like, peppering the ceiling. What do you do?
And the SWAT teams, are they like centered, or are they all spread out, or like are they?
They're kind of spread out, but they're also, like, minions. So, like, you can do, like, there is... If you need them to be a certain way, they can be a certain way.
Well, I was thinking of roping them together psychically.
Cool. I love it.
Yeah, like a rodeo kind of thing. Like, and so that way they stop one attacking Flyby into
Okay. I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. Are you trying to take them out of the fight?
Yes.
Okay. Then I think you should roll to directly engage a threat.
Okay. Yay.
So that's plus danger. And we'll just make sure it's
Ooh,
dangerous
11,
enough.
full hit.
Nice. So on a 10 plus, you pick 2. Resist or avoid blows. Take something from them. Create an opportunity for your allies. Or impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition.
The last 2.
The last 2, so you're not going to resist or avoid their blows.
Correct.
Okay.
Squishy, don't do that.
So... Create an opportunity for your
She
allies.
likes to. That's her stupid move. She likes to inflict danger upon herself. She just hates it when other people do it.
So, so there's all of these, like, blasts of, like, you know, like, the blasts of the psych energy, like, pulling people around. And I think it's gonna be a little bit like, you know, like the fake horror movie sort of things in superhero stuff, where it's like someone suddenly like, huh! And like just pulled. And it's like, you know, like being picked off. And I think it's like that. And so like, we've got like the SWATs just like being dragged and like slamming against each other's backs. And there's one near you. And they look down. And what is is there a visible component to you doing your thing? Just so we get the panel.
Yeah, it kind of varies depending on how strong like she's using the power. Again, it's more like it's like visible lines, electric lines along her hands and arms, because almost everything she accesses through her hands.
Yeah.
So,
oh, I just thought of something. Yes. Okay. So there's one near you, and he like is looking down, and he pulls he sees the electricity on, like, not the electricity, like the lines with your hand, and he pulls up his gun to just kind of like pistol whip, and at that last minute he's pulled away hard, and like you have like a second of feeling, hey, things went okay. That was really good. I got all of them. They're all just tied to each other. And then you feel 2 gloved hands grab onto your face.
oh shit.
And you're pulled up, upright. And standing behind you, we get a panel of you standing with like a surprised, shocked look on your face. And we see behind you Trick Taker.
Oh, fuck.
The destroyed body is still underneath the chandelier.
Was it made out of cards?
Oh my god, I love it, maybe. We'll come back to that, because I don't know if that's too silly. We'll come back to it. but she's got a like a big knife that looks like a diamond, and it's just like held right underneath your throat. And she says, "I'm sorry, darling. I think you've made a mistake. You're not the dealer today." And that's the end of our comic for today.
No!
Oh!
That's fucked up.
So, thank you all three of you for playing. I'm so excited. And I realized I didn't pay you for last week yet. So I'm going to send a message right after this. Make sure you all get your payment, because one of the things that we care about a lot at LatinXplosion is everybody gets money in their pocket. But I just want to say right off the bat, thank you all so much for playing with me. I love your characters so much, and I'm having so much fun, and I hope you are too.
Oh yeah, I'm loving
Thanks so
everybody.
much. Yeah, thanks so much for running and for organizing this, and for like honestly being a force of good in the Latinx tabletop community. So I truly appreciate it.
Frankie, I have told you 1,000 times you cannot talk that way to me or I'm going to tear up because I get all emotional.
Maybe I want to see you cry.
You know
Oh,
what?
you're gonna make us cry. We gotta make you cry at least once.
And then she kills Selena. Yeah, she does it.
Selena's
And then Rosa Azul grabs
That's
Rosa
so
and kills it.
weird.
Yeah. We have a really vibrant, wonderful play community. And I think it's really important that we come together and build that. And there's a lot of opportunities that are not given to Latinx people and Latinx players in the game community. And so I want to make sure that we have a home for us. And so thank you very much, Frankie, but we're building this together. And I'm so thrilled that we are. And I love all three of you, and I love so much everybody in the chat who's been so wonderful through this. And
Yes.
oh my God.
Thanks, Chad.
Oh.
You've been awesome.
Yeah, I'm loving
Thanks,
all the
Sam.
commentary.
And I swear I'm not crying yet. But we will absolutely be back next week with more amazing LatinXplosion comics. I'm going to make sure that all of our contact information is in the description. But I also want us to all give any plugs that we need to make for this week. I don't have a lot of plugs. Be nice to each other. Check out Protean City Comics. Check out Stop Hack and Roll. And be back next week for LatinXplosion.
I just wrote my first tabletop game
Woo!
for Sad Mech Jam.
Nice.
So be sure to check that out. If anyone's been watching the Sad Mech Jam, they did brilliantly, and it's on itch.io. So just go to dianamoon.itch.io and you should be able to find it. It is $1, but I think if you like mecha and feelings, lots of feelings, and relationships and queerness, yes, please.
Talking about the SACMET Jam, I also made a game for the SACMET Jam. That's called
awesome.
One More Before We Go. It's a game about telling stories in the fire before your big mech mission, where y'all will probably die.
Oh, I love it.
It's a super short story game, and you can find it at frankieextra.itch.io.
Nice.
You can find other games there that I have. That one's free because it's for the jam, but you can buy if you like wrestling, you can buy my wrestling LARP called The Screw Job, or if you like feelings, you can buy my game called Hell Train, which is like the movie Polar Express, but the train's going to hell instead of the North Pole.
Yeah, I'm Axel. You can find me at PikachuSlutR on Instagram and Twitter, and you can find me at Pikachu-Slut on Tumblr.healthsite. My commissions are always open, so if you're interested in any art, please feel free to reach out to me. On the sort of mention of art, my close friend, she actually has stage 4 cancer, and so she's trying to raise a lot of funds by doing commissions. So please check out her Twitter if you have the chance. It's Mooney LaVake. Yeah, so check that one out. And my partner is also doing some just basically like an Iron Age D&D supplement that'll be coming out soon, and you can follow them on Twitter at Roxas Buddy, like the Kingdom Hearts quote, Roxas Buddy.
Additionally, tomorrow, just want to let you know about some additional Latinx streaming that's going to be happening. Tomorrow, I'm going to be hopping on, and actually, anyone else in the crew who's interested in hopping on, I want to do a little bit of wiki work. because we need to hit like a certain amount of days that we're streaming in order to hit affiliate status. And so like, I guess I'm going to work on the wiki or something, because we're going to have a wiki.
Awesome.
And so that'll take up some time. It'll get us set up with the thing. But if you want more LatinX, I had a second that I almost said LatinX Men, which people kept on suggesting as the name for this. And it's like, no, copyright. Can't do that. If you want more Latinx masks action, tune in tonight at Nahual RPG, where they are having another masks game. We're going to be hosting it. I'm blanking at what time it is, but you'll get
8 o'clock, but I don't know what time zone 8 o'clock.
I think that's Central.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think it's Central.
So in an hour. If it's Central, it'll be in an hour from now.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll host it if you need to be aimed in that direction. But check it out. Miguel is so wonderful. One of my very favorite people, and an amazing Latinx designer and layout person and GM and amazing. But we are building a community that has Latinx stuff all the time. And so I love that. Thank you all in the chat. And we're going, oh yeah, that is in Spanish. So if you don't speak Spanish, that might be a little difficult. If you want to work on your Spanish, then that's a great thing to tune into. I've been listening to a bunch of Spanish AP, and I cannot tell you how much better my Spanish is getting. It's such a good plan. And if you do speak Spanish, then great opportunity to see more masks and see some awesome playing. I cannot wait. Until then, we will be back in another week, and we'll see what happens with our brave heroes. Have a good one, everybody, and just... Oh, hi, Pippin. And just be good to each other.
Pippin up.
Bring Pippin up? I'll bring Pippin up.
Pippin up.
Otherwise, I'll chew another cord.
Oh, this baby puppy.
The villain.
Okay.
The villain.
It's okay. There we go. There he is. Have to show him off at least a little bit.
I'll praise
What do
the
you
Pippin.
think, Bupper? Do you think it's time to go? He wants me to go sit on the couch for a little bit. All right. So, barring the LatinXplosion tech curse killing all of us, we will be back next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Take care of yourselves. Keep supporting marginalized creators. And have a good night.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Adios.